Hello everyone, in my 6th semester of high school I investigated and researched if a daily bath is good and the perception in Mexico about it. I think it is important because currently in various areas of the country we are suffering from water shortage, and this daily water expenditure may causes more parts of the country to suffer from this situation in the future. Also, in the matter of personal care, bathing daily does not improve the care of your skin, on the other hand it damages it. Mexico needs to import water from USA because we cannot produce the quantity that we need. Our body naturally produces oils and bacteria that cover our entire body to protect it and prevent diseases. According to the Harvard University Journal on Harvard Health Publishing, bathing daily causes our skin to be dry and removes that protective layer on bacteria. Also, antibacterial soaps actually harm us more than benefit us. Harvard Health Publishing recommends us to bath from 3 to 4 times a week. A bath of no more than 5 minutes, scrubbing all the areas of the body well. For people who exercise due to the production of toxins, it is recommended to bath every time you sweat. Yes, if you exercise daily, it is advisable to bath you every day. Besides, whether you exercise it or not, it is also tells that we have to clean the underarm and genital area daily. Now let's talk about the showers, where it exists 2 types. First one, the low consumption shower, which it expends from 8 liters per minute, and the normal or standard consumption shower, which it expends 20 liters per minute. If it is recommended to bath in about 50 minutes approximately, between 40 and 100 liters of water are used. This is a big spent waste amount of water. Nowadays, there are villages and cities where the lack of water is something common. Our health consumption are making that for months we are running out of water, not only to bath ourselves, but also for consumption, for washing, food, farms, etc. Now the hypothesis and research question. After seeing that a lot of water is used when bathing, in addition to the articles that prove that it is not necessary to bath daily, I believe that in Mexico, we bath routinely, because it is something that they teach us since childhood, not because we need it. Now, currently in Mexico, there has been a shortage of general, potable irrigation and tap of water, so we have to import it from USA. That is why it is important to know how do Mexican visions of daily bathing affect our water shortage. The methodology and ethics. Before explaining how we are going to obtain the data and the steps that we are going to follow in this investigation, it is important to mention that the data that will be collected in this survey will not to be asked for the name to maintain the confidentiality of the person, and the ages will be managed in ranges. There will be a disclaimer at the beginning of the survey so that people can know that the responses will be used only for research purposes and will be kept in storage until the investigation ends, after which they will be deleted. It is also worth mentioning that to the question sex as assigned as birth, the option I prefer not to say it will be added in case that any of the people surveyed does not feel comfortable with the sex that was imposed on them at birth. Now, after talking about the ethical implications, the methodology. We will use the Google Forms application to conduct the survey, and that helps us to collect the data in a Google spreadsheet so we can analyze it in an easy way. The survey will have 6 questions. The first 2 questions were about personal information in order to know the profile of the respondent. The first one, sex assigned as birth, which the variable is the gender. The second one, the age range, which the variable is the age. In these 2 questions, the variables are qualitative nominal. Now, the following questions were related directly to the investigation. The third one was times you bath in a week, which the variable is number of baths in a week. The fourth one, time it takes you to bath, which the variable is the bath time. The fifth one is the reason why you bath, which the variable is the reason. And the sixth one, do you think it is necessary to bath daily, which the variable is necessity. In also these 4 questions, the variables are qualitative nominal. After the survey, we got 70 responses, which were, in the first question, was the sex assigned at birth, where we know that 42 of the responses were from women and 28 from men. The second question was about their age. The usage of ranges help us to keep the confidentiality and also to make groups of different lifestyle situations. 58 people responded from 15 to 20 years old, 5 persons from 27 to 33, 3 people from 34 to 40, and 2 persons from 21 to 26 and over 40 years old. Most of the responses were from students in high school and early years in college. The third question was times you bath in a week, where the majority, 41 people, responded daily. Then 25 responses were from 4 to 6 times, and 4 persons from 1 to 3 times in a week. This shows us that it is common to take a bath and wash our body at least once a day. After knowing how many times people take a bath in a week, now in the fourth question, the survey asks about the time it takes you to bath. The two most responses, with 28 responses, were from 5 to 10 minutes and 22 for 10 to 15 minutes. Then having 12 people from 15 to 20 minutes, then less than 5 minutes there were 6 responses, and last, over 20 minutes with 2 people. The fifth question was the reason why you bath. The most common reason with 43 people was routine. They have the habit of taking a bath not because of a specific cause. Then is exercise with 19 persons. Third, every time I remember with 4 responses. And the last 2 are my mom tells me with 2 responses and 1 for when I go out. Therefore, normally the people take a bath because they have been taking that since childhood or because they do exercise every day or some days in a week. The sixth question was about their perception about a daily bath, if it is necessary or not, where 38 people said yes, 17 said no, and at least 15 people think that could be necessary, but if you don't bath every day, it won't be a problem. After looking at the graphs, the ANOVA single factor tool will be used to see if there are relationships between the variables, to know if the habit of bathing changes by sex or between generations. First, the age of the people will be compared with the times they bath in a week. That after cleaning and selecting the data, we obtain that the p-value is greater than 0.05, so there is no relation between the age and the times they bath in a week. Second, the age and the time they take in a bath, where also in the comparison, the p-value is bigger than 0.05, therefore there is no relation between the age and time they take in a bath. Third and last, the sex of the person with the times they bath in a week, where the p-value of the relation of these two does not exist because the p-value is greater than 0.05. After seeing these 3 relationships, we can conclude that factors such as age and sex do not influence the number of times they bath a week. Although, even so, we have to mention that in Mexico, on average, they bath at least 6 times a week, and most of them, the most, bath 7 days a week, concluding that the routine of bathing is more cultural, since access to water is very easy for most of the country. After the previous investigation and the application of the survey, we can observe that the hypothesis was correct. The most of the people who live in Mexico City bath daily because of routine, not because they need it. I reiterate that for people who exercise daily or produce toxins, sweat, it is good and necessary to bath every day. In addition, the survey showed that we took more than the recommended bath time, 5 minutes, further increasing our water consumption, making 200 liters of water on average, but in some cases it was up to 300 liters. If we are only going to be at home without exercising or doing any activity that makes us sweat, like home office or study at home, it will be best to bath from 3 to 4 times a week and just wash the armpits and genitals daily. For future work, I will implement the return of information to the people surveyed so that they know the result of the experiment. Asking the survey also how much water they think is used when bathing for 5 minutes and propose an alternative to be able to clean the areas already mentioned without having to open the shower. Also on this slide are the references used in the research. Thank you very much.